Crawford and Billy Martin, and the Yankees want the bat. Look at Martin.
Well, what they're talking about, Frank, is that he's got too much fine tar, and you've got to have a certain amount of distance from the trademark of the bat and the fine tar.
And Nettles is leaving the field as if the game is over. He's just coming in.
I'm not sure. They might have a legitimate gripe. They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, he's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out. And
the team is mad.
He is out and having to be forcibly restrained from hitting plate umpire Tim McClellan.
Another episode of Too Much Pod Tar, as this is going to be another episode of the 30 teams in 30 pod, and this is going to be the Marlins, the third team on the series, as the Marlins finished with the 57-105 record, and that was actually their second worst in team history, and obviously they're just in their rebuilding years here, now since Derek Jeter took over a few years ago. He's looking to get back to his winning ways with the Yankees, try to get some championships to Miami now. So, for this episode, I have a guest, Marlins fan, Stoffer Cochran, and he's a writer for Prospects 1500. He covers all Marlins prospects through the site. Yeah, so thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. You want to just kind of give a little bit of information on what kind of things you write about for the site?
Oh, yeah, we do a couple yearly columns for Prospects 1500. We do a top 50 prospects for each organization on our website, and I cover the Marlins. And we try to look at it from a little bit slightly more of a fantasy baseball perspective, kind of throw that into the kinks, and we rank them into some tiers, whether they're going to be elite players, everyday contributors, or just all the way down to minor league fodder. And then we release a few columns here and there if we see something that we think that the public needs to be informed. And then every mid-season, we do a mid-season recap and try to show who's fallen, who's risen, how the season's going. And after the season, we kind of gear up and start getting ready for the next one.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. Sounds like a good site to write for.
It's very fun. Always something to write on.
Yeah. And just another question, just like, how did you meet? How do you know Joey? Because he's the one who brought me. He introduced me to you to get on this pod.
We've just gone back and forth through Twitter, just different articles, kind of following each other, just kind of talking here and there.
Okay. And so you'd also follow Stoffer on Twitter at Stoffer81, Stoffer 81. And don't forget to follow Scorecrow at the Scorecrow. And myself at Alex Keeler, AlexKielar. Yeah, so just jumping into our first topic here. Obviously, the Marlins didn't have a very good season, as I said before. But, just some of the bright spots from the season, they did have a few of them. Caleb Smith, Brian Anderson, Jordan Yamamoto, if I could say his name right. But yeah, so just kind of, what were your thoughts on the season, and what were your the best parts of the season?
Well, they only finished 40 games out of first place in the division, but like you were hitting on some of the bright spots, I think the biggest bright spot that hit is the development of Yamamoto, Caleb Smith, Pablo Lopez, and Sandy Alcantara. I think going forward, they got a strong rotation, let alone the bullpen or the guys they have in the minor leagues, like the trade target last year, Sixto Sanchez. He had a remarkable year with around a 1 whip in Double-A Jacksonville last year. And then we got Trevor Rogers down there and Edward Cabrera and Nick Nainhart. So the future's looking bright for the pitching rotation. And then you had Isan Diaz come up and show that he can hit for power. You had Miguel Rojas kind of try to shake that platoon player type label, and he's going to probably be the starting shortstop this year. And then John Birdie a little older, kind of a journeyman, just kind of established himself as a good, positive player. And Harold Ramirez came up. He didn't do too awful. So, yeah, Jorge Alfaro, another trade from the Remuto trade.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of pieces there. I don't think we have the big power bat there yet, which is probably one of their targets in free agency, depending on price tag, of course. But the minor leagues also got Monty Harrison down there, who kind of cut down on the strikeouts a little bit. But all in all, I say 2019 might not have been a success in the standings or the attendance, but overall, I think they did a lot to reconcile the ship on what they needed to do to get the organization on the right track.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely have, I think they have a decent start to this rebuild and try to get back to, winning ways. And, I could see them, trying to make a run at contending, within a few seasons or so, I'd say. Going into the moves that the Marlins made so far this offseason, they start off with getting Jonathan Villar from the Orioles for left-handed pitcher Easton Lucas. And VR is a pretty solid guy to pick up for them. He's a infielder, and he had a solid 2019 season, slashing 274, 339, 453 with 24 home runs, 73 RBIs, 40 stolen bases, and he had a 4 WAR. So he's definitely a solid pickup for the Marlins. And try to get them in the right direction there. Definitely give them production. What was your thoughts on the move?
I don't feel like they gave up a lot to get him either. I think Baltimore was looking to shed the payroll. I think he's scheduled to earn a little over $10 million this year.
Yeah,
and he scored 111 ones for a struggling Baltimore team. Let alone with the rest of that stat line, I think he's going to plug in nicely at the corner and maybe play some outfield this year too. I think shortstop and second are kind of have their positions, but that just adds to the overall flexibility that they're trying to bring in for this team. I think he's going to be a spark plug with that switch hitter tag that he has. And I think it was a risk, high reward kind of a pickup. Exactly what I think they need to do.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. And then another guy that they picked up a little while ago was Jesus Aguilar, who played 131 games between the Rays and Brewers. He got traded to the Brewers at the trade deadline, and he had a decent season last year, slashing 236, 323, 714, 12 home runs, and 50 RBIs. And also just to kind of add, like they definitely brought somebody that's could be a positive for them. They in all rebuilding teams, you need somebody that has like a positive career WAR, and his career WAR is at 3.5. So definitely somebody that can add to their production as they try to rebuild and try to get back to kind of the winning ways.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of keys in that acquisition for Aguilar. In 2018, he hit 25 home runs with a 274 average. So I guess if you're looking from year to year, he declined a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the key is consistent at bats, too. He only had 314 at bats versus almost 518. So if he can come in and show that he's the man for first base, then they picked up a 20-plus home run hitter for first base for basically nothing, just a little bit of salary. I think he's scheduled to earn about $2 million this year. But I think the key for him is going to be the consistent at bats. If he can just hold his own in there, I don't think there's going to be anybody pushing him. You got Garrett Cooper is going to be a off-day replacement and maybe a little bit of outfield, but
yeah, I could definitely see him having a pretty good year. I think if he gets the at bats for sure, he'll definitely push 20 home runs, maybe somewhere around 70 RBIs, and then definitely give him production. I think it's definitely something they need to do is make moves like that. Like you said before, it's low risk, and then it could potentially be high reward. So that's definitely what they got to do.
And then the other move they made, the Yaimi Garcia from the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He's got a strong K to walk ratio, 4.71 to 1 in 64 innings or 64 appearances last year, and that came out to a .87 whip. I think that was another under the radar type signing that's really going to help secure the back end of that bullpen, whether he goes into the closer's role or not.
Yeah, that's definitely another good move. And also, just a couple of days ago, they out of the Rule 5 draft from the Nationals, they picked up 24-year-old prospect Sterling Shepard. He's another right-handed pitcher, and he got up to AA Harrisburg this past year. Drafted out at Drury University in 2016 by the Nats, and then he was in the Arizona Fall League. He pitched in 6 games and had a 1.50 ERA, 24 strikeouts in 24 innings. He can definitely end up being like one of their main guys in the, maybe not as front end rotation guy, but maybe back end or potentially a a reliever. And so I don't know what your thoughts are on him, Sharp. But
yeah, I like Sharp. I like that move. I kind of see him moving into the bullpen to start the year and maybe transition out of that depending on his success. I see him more of as an innings eater kind of guy. Take his lumps in the majors there, while maybe being a swing guy if they need an extra starter for a week.
Yeah.
We had him ranked in the Prospects 1500 midseason top 50 prospects report at the 8th best prospect in the national system. So it was kind of surprising to see that he was there.
Yeah, definitely a guy I wouldn't want to lose as a national, as the Nationals, but obviously coming off a World Series victory, so they're not really, too upset. But
they got some talent there still, that's for sure.
Yeah, obviously it's just the other day they lost Anthony Rendon, who was a big part of their season, but they still got Juan Soto. They brought Steven Strasburg back, but so they got a strong core for sure.
Oh yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they move forward without Rendon at third base. He's been there for a few years.
Yeah, definitely interested to see too if they go after Donaldson to replace him. That would be interesting.
Well, I was hoping Donaldson get out of the NL East, but I guess that's not going to happen. The Braves are hot on him too, so.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. And then there's also these some of these trade rumors going around about Arenado even being in potential trade talks, which I don't think is going to happen, but you never know.
I don't know if I'm a general manager of a club, if I want to give up the talent it would take to acquire him for a few years. So yeah. I think I'd rather bank on what I've actually built.
Yeah, that's true. Some of these moves that have been made from the winter meetings just ended just a couple of days ago now, and it's actually been so it's been so much different than last offseason. Last offseason was a drag, and absolutely obviously Machado, Harper, they were the big guys from last year and didn't sign until way late. And then obviously Keuchel didn't sign until the middle of the season, and now this year, back in 3 straight days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we got the top 3 free agents coming off the board. It was Monday with Strasburg re-signed with the Nats for 7 years, $245, and we had Tuesday Garrett Cole signed with the Yankees, which I'm thrilled about. I'm not, because I'm a Yankees fan, of course, so brings them a bona fide number 1 starter, and really puts them as probably the favorites to win the World Series. So definitely excited about that move.
Well, I heard some interesting news that when the Yankees are courting a prospect or a free agent, they send them a little contraption type thing that opens up to Yankee Stadium, and then there's an iPad in there that tells them all about the city, all about the championship teams, where the kids, all the way down to where the kids go to school, where they should live, and what kind of food to eat when they're there.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's something I would like to see. That would be a cool sight.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that's good. And then, yeah, that would be obviously 364. I wouldn't cough at 364 million either. So I mean 324 million.
No, that's a good chunk of change.
Yeah. And obviously Wednesday was Anthony Rendon, as I mentioned him before. He went. Excuse me. Wednesday signed with the Angels, 7 years, 245, the same Steven Strasburg got with the Nats, and now that signing is a really good one for the Angels. Gives Mike Trout, the best player on the planet, protection there in the lineup, and I think they're gonna contend next year, at least for a wild card, and as long as they get somebody for that rotation, because their rotation is still a question mark there, of course. Hopefully they can sign somebody, one of these big free agents like Keuchel or Bumgarner. But we still got a while left until off season's over, so we'll see what happens here. And then some other signings: Didi Gregorius signing with the Phillies for 1 year, $14 million. And then Brett Gardner re-signing with the Yankees for 1 year, $12.5 million, and then with an option for a second year. Gardner, obviously, he's probably going to finish his career with the Yankees. Was such a loyal player for them, and it's a big clubhouse leader, and the only guy left from their last World Series run in 2009.
Oh wow.
Yeah, after CC retired, he's the last one now. So, yeah, those are some of the big signings that have happened over the last week. And then, yeah, we talked about the signings that the Marlins made for over the winter meetings as well. So, yeah, that's not too much else to talk about really. Like, there's been some rumors, as I said, so I don't know what else you want to go to here, but.
Well, I think the signing of Rendon really put a crimp in the plans for potential free agent target of Nick Castellanos.
Oh yeah.
I think the Marlins might have been targeting him, but Rendon got such a big contract. I think they might have. That leaves Nick as the next guy out there. Some other free agent targets for the Marlins that I could see them, signing on a 1 year prove-it deal, maybe Corey Dickerson, Matt Adams, Yonder Alonso, Lonnie Chisenhall, maybe CJ Crone, one of those guys, somewhere they can put in the first base or DH spot when they go. And then I think the biggest need maybe is another starting pitcher with some experience to kind of keep tutelaging these younger kids that are coming up. Maybe someone like a Julio Teheran, maybe a Tyson Ross type guy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think the Marlins are going to be looking at the secondary market here to try to find some guys that they can grab off the scrap heap and see what they can get for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a key there for them to get some secondary guys, as you said. Not going to obviously not going to go for the big guys with rebuilding team, but obviously they still need some more pieces here as they try to get the rebuild moving into the right direction. So, and then kind of what are some of the players to watch for, like some of the prospects you would watch for next season?
The prospects I'd watch for is they had a huge offseason signing last year of the Mesa brothers. I would look to see if the older Mesa brother gets hot kind of starting the year, he could get a call up. I think Monty Harrison, I think it's time for him to show what he can do in the big leagues. And then potentially midseason, we might get a showing of Sixto Sanchez, and that would just be impressive.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what he can do.
So, I mean, they got some things coming. I think and we got Jazz Chisholm. He might be coming maybe by the end of the year too. But I think the key here is there's no need to rush these kids. They need to let them develop fully in the minors. For two years, they've been focusing on developing a strong, deep farm system. And according to the MLB pipeline, they have them ranked 4th right now. So the moves that they're doing right now are bolstering this minor league system, and I think that if they start rushing these kids to try to put pressure on them, I think that's kind of the opposite of what they're looking for here. So I wouldn't see anything drastic, no major, like we're not going to see the first overall draft pick from this year, JJ. He's not going to come up. So I think everybody just needs a temper, and they just need to focus on trying to play some 500 baseball for this year. And I think if they do 500 baseball this year, that's a huge win.
Yeah, definitely. And then you mentioned JJ there too. JJ Bleday. He was coming into the draft. I was really excited to see where he went because I was watching him when he was at Vanderbilt. He was a really exciting player to watch. He was one of my favorite players from that from the College World Series to watch. And then he also won the College World Series with Vanderbilt. So he was on the big stage there, and it was exciting to see how he did there.
Yeah, looking at the reports, they say he's got the best pure hitting talent in the draft. So look forward to seeing what he can do over a few seasons down there in the minor leagues.
Yeah. Do you ever get the chance to go to any minor league games to see some of the young guys coming up?
Yeah, luckily for me, I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and the Jumbo Shrimp Stadium is about 15 minutes from my house. So we got some tickets. We go down to the game, and I was able to catch a couple of six-toe starts this year, and he's got some mound presence on there. I think he's going to be a special player, but there's a good talent there at the AA level here, and I like getting the opportunity to watch all these players come through.
Yeah, it's always awesome to see guys develop. Because I actually live for the Yankees. I live right near Scranton, so I get to go to a lot of those games, see them at the last level before they get to the majors. So I saw Glaber coming up, Severino, Judge, all those guys coming up. So it was definitely a fun experience.
No, that's awesome. I think if I had my way, I'd probably hit a minor league game up before a program, not because I don't like the pros, but just because the minor league, you get such a more intimate setting with the players there.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also obviously cheaper for maybe not for the Marlins, but for the Yankees, it's definitely a lot cheaper.
Oh, I bet. I couldn't even imagine. I'm trying to make my way around all the major league ballparks, and the Yankees one seems to be the most expensive out of all of them.
Yeah, and they charge you $12 for a beer.
Woo.
That's fun.
Yeah, we got dollar beer nights on Thursdays here in Jacksonville. Come on down, I'll get you a beer.
Yeah, I think they got that in Scranton too. I'm pretty sure. It's either Thursdays or Fridays, I think.
Yeah, that's an awesome time.
Yeah. I always love sitting in the lawn seats too. They have really good lawn seats. You can just go out there and you can walk around the whole ballpark and whatever.
Yeah, they got over here we got a tiki hut in the left field area, so it's good to go down there, and you can sit on the berm along the way.
Awesome. How many ballparks you got on your 30 ballpark?
I'm about a third done, probably. Yeah, about a third done. There's a few I have to re-hit up because they've closed down, but so far one of the best ones I've been to was Pittsburgh at night, opening weekend. They played Philadelphia, so it was Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Philadelphia Phillies at night.
Nice. It
was an awesome atmosphere, and after the game they did some fireworks, and they all reflected off the downtown skyline. It was a pretty awesome setting.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to, I believe, eight of the 30. So I've been to Yankee Stadium, of course, Citi Field. I've been to Pittsburgh. What other ones? Camden. Camden's one. I think Camden's my favorite out of all of them.
I like Camden.
San Diego's was pretty awesome too. It's beautiful there.
I was supposed to go out there for opening weekend this year, but I tore my knee up, so I wasn't able to. Have you ever been to Fenway?
Oh yeah, I was there 2 years ago now.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's a historic ballpark.
Yeah. The sucky part of it was I was there when the Yankees were playing them, and it was that one game where Purcell one hit them. It was like that. It was a 4-game sweep.
Oh man, that stinks.
It was awful.
But the Marlins ballpark is nice. There's not much to do outside of the stadium there. Tampa Bay's ballpark is a warehouse, but it's nice because you know the game will never get rained out.
Oh yeah.
The new Brave Stadium is nice. It's real big, kind of a nice little area around the stadium though, so it's kind of fun.
Oh yeah. And then this past year I was at Citizens Bank for the first time. So even though it's kind of weird, it was the first time I was there, and I live like 2.5 hours away, but still I've lived in this area for my whole life. So it's like I don't know how I didn't make it out there yet, but till now.
Well, it's Citi Field, so.
Citizens Bank.
Oh, Citizens Bank. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Citi Field.
Yeah, Citi Field. I was there 3 years ago, I think.
Subway Series?
No, not yet. I haven't been to Subway Series. Oh no, actually no. This past year I was at Subway Series at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, nice.
That was another one where they lost. Well, they won the first game of the doubleheader, but I was at the second one, which they lost. Like, what am I, bad luck? What the hell?
I'll say so. Got some bad mojo going on.
Yeah, because the year before I was at Fenway, and they lost, and then I was at. Well, at least this year though, I went to the playoff game where Didi hit that grand slam, so that was a good game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was electric in there. It was awesome.
Nothing like October baseball.
Have you been to any playoff games?
Growing up, I lived in Middle Georgia, so we went to a lot of the Braves games.
Okay.
And been to a World Series before. They lost. Then I had the option. My father gave me the option of which game we wanted to, and he said Game 6 or 7 for the World Series. I told him, I was like, the Braves always go to 7. Let's get that Game 7 ticket. And then they won it in 6. So, so yeah, that's my story about the Braves winning the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I had something to do with that, but
maybe it was just meant to be that you weren't supposed to be at the game, because then they would have lost if you didn't. Even if you did.
Yeah, they lost because Bobby Cox couldn't manage a bullpen, but that's a whole other story. Man, good times.
And then I was also at the ALCS this year too, but it was the game that the Yankees faced off against Cole, and they got shut down by him. Well, now he's pitching for them, so that's a good thing now.
Right.
Don't have to watch them shut us down anymore.
Yeah, that's going to be. I really think the Yankees are going to have the best rotation in baseball this year, and that's kind of scary looking at what the numbers they put up last year from the offensive side of the ball, plus with who all they're getting back off the injury for the whole year this year. Knock on wood.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. You're going to have some enjoyable baseball to watch this year.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see what happens with all these allegations against the Astros. See what comes down on them.
Yeah, that's real interesting. I don't know what to think. I don't know really what to make of it. We've got to see what all the evidence says.
Yeah, it's probably gonna take until like right before spring training.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. They're gonna get stripped of some prospects for sure.
Yeah. I hope they definitely, if it's actually like what I'm hearing, like it's bad as it sounds like it is, then they better just come down on them hard. Like you gotta make it so that nobody else even thinks of doing something like that again.
Absolutely. You got to set the example.
Yeah. Because like the Apple Watch thing from whatever 2000, I think it was 2018 with the Red Sox and Yankees. Like that was one thing, but this is even different. This is a whole other animal. If it's what they're saying, what you're hearing, like,
Right.
Because it's literally like you're not. They even banned it, like any technology in the dugout, and now they have it right outside their dugout. Apparently, like having a TV set up and relaying signs, like obviously the camera too set up right in center field. So it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand why we can't all just play on a level playing field and you have the best players go against the best players. What else do you need? Do you really need to have that advantage, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Baseball's that pure sport.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like with going to another sport with the NFL with the Patriots. Apparently I don't know how true it is, but they had those rumors that they filmed the Bengals practice. Which why do you need to cheat against the Bengals? It's they have one win.
Yeah, that's one that I don't know if I believe or not. I mean, I know they probably recorded, but it was probably for scouting or something on a player. I can't believe they were trying to get an advantage against them.
That's why I think some of this shit is like, I think just like I think it was Bleacher Report that came out with the article. So like I think some of these sites just want to like stir up the pot, like with some like they're just trying to find something to like make a story out of it or whatever.
You got to get those clicks coming through their website, right?
Yeah. That's what we try not to do at the scorecard. That's like all clickbait at this our site at the scorecard. We just we write like legit stuff. Like we just like come read this shit. We know what we're talking about. Like, and we don't do stuff for just clout. It's like,
and that's awesome, and that's what will get people to go places. Right there is none of the shenanigan stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like there was one article on Fanside. I don't know if you heard about any of these like rumors about Josh Hader, the Josh Hader trade rumors with the Yankees, but there was one Brewers fan-sided site. The guy wrote putting a trade out there to like say that this is what they would want in return.
Oh yeah.
Like so they said
demands.
Yeah. So like the guy said Josh Hader, if the Yankees want Josh Hader, they need to trade Gleyber Torres, Luis Severino, and one of their pitching prospects. I was like, right there. As soon as you mentioned Gleyber Torres, like, no, just end it right there. It's not happening. Josh Hader is not worth that. Like, no way.
No, you don't send an everyday position player that's an all-star for a guy coming off injury.
No.
Plus other things like a top prospect.
Yeah. And that's like, I don't understand what goes through your mind when you write something like that and actually like put it out. Like, don't you think like when you're writing it, like, oh, this sounds stupid. This would never be an actual trade. Like, what the hell?
Well, I think that's where people really need to take a look and make sure they can actually take themselves out of the situation and their fandom out of it, because they really have to look at both sides of an offer before they can even propose something.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Hader for maybe one of your top 3 hitting prospects and maybe a top 5 pitching prospect, maybe that's a fair trade. More so than Torres and a top pitching prospect.
That was like last year too at the trade deadline with all these the Yankees, like with all they were like mentioning they had the Yankees had to trade Torres to get Stroman, like, or whatever, or whoever on the trade market. It's like, what? Stroman's not even that great of a pitcher. He's not a Garrett Cole. Gleyber Torres, if the Yankees were going to trade with like a couple years ago for like when Cole was on the market with the Pirates, if they were going to make a trade then for Garrett Cole, that would be when you would trade somebody like Torres, because Torres was a prospect. He was one of their top prospects at the time.
Right.
That's do something like that, but not when they're an everyday player, and it's Marcus Stroman, who's like definitely not on the same level.
Yeah, I think we would call him a B-type pitcher. He's like a third or fourth starter. He's not your ace.
No.
I mean, there was a time he was trending towards being an ace, but
yeah,
I think he's on the Mets now, right?
yeah, because he got traded there, and then it was funny because when they told him that he was going to New York, and then people were saying, "Oh, the wrong team, like the wrong New York team." Now. It's like he wanted to go there too. Like he heard that he was going to New York. He's like, "Oh shit, yes, I get to go to New York. I'm going to the Yankees." And he's like, "Sorry, I don't know how to tell you, but yeah, the Mets." But like, I think I'm not like one of these Yankees fans who hates the Mets either. Though I'm like, I want to see them succeed. Like they have struggled so much. Like I don't know what they're doing. They need to figure it out.
Well, from my understanding, is the ownership situation for the Mets was horrible. I think that might have changed recently. They changed ownership.
I don't know if it's official yet, but yeah, I think they were talking about it. Like,
yeah, I heard some rumblings. I don't know. So
yeah.
if they can get that ownership change going on, I think the Mets will be in a better state going forward. But
yeah, it should be. I mean, there's been a lot of seasons where a lot of people have said like, oh, the Mets are going to do good this year. They're going to contend, and then they finished in fourth place or whatever, third place. It's like, damn, I thought we all said they were winning the division this year. What happened? Plus, a lot of the time it's also injuries too. Though they always get hurt.
Yeah, Giannis Cespedes, I think the last couple of years he couldn't make it through the whole season.
No, I know. Today they just restructured his contract. I think I don't know the number, but they lessened the amount that they owe him now. So
aren't they still paying Bobby Bonilla too?
Oh yeah. I think for like 2 or 3 more years or something.
See, his agent had it figured out. He got him paid for a while.
Yeah, got to get that deferred money. That's what I would do. I would try to get deferred money, so then I just get it all along my whole, even after I retire. Just like, oh shit, I got a paycheck for millions of dollars right here. Like,
I guess I'll go cash that today.
Because like, I feel like if I got it all at once, I would just like go crazy all in one day or something, all in a week, just like buying all the shit I can get.
Well, I got to think players in that situation have some kind of financial manager that can kind of guide them along, and hopefully they can listen to them so they don't end up broke.
That's true.
One would hope. But yeah, I mean, 2020 looks like another hard year for the Marlins. Like I said, I anticipate them maybe aiming for 500 this year and giving some of their younger guys the chance to see if they can stick or not, and seeing what they're going to have to build around going in the future. I don't really foresee them trading any of their top prospects unless they don't think that they're going to make an impact on the big league level.
Yeah. Would you say their ceiling this year is like 500?
I think if they make 500 this year after, what were they, 57 and 105 last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they go 500 this year, that'll be the equivalent of them winning the World Series.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a massive undertaking to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's what, about 25 games over last year, 20. Yeah, so. Yeah, I think they're going to be in for the long haul. So, and I think management and ownership is giving management the leash that's needed to make sure that everything's trending in the right direction. Now they're going to have to start showing some things with some guys there, but I think getting someone like Villar, the little spark plug, is going to help, keep the pendulum swinging the right way.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Jeter as your as like part owner.
I love it. I really do. I think he gives a lot of legitimacy to what they're trying to do now. And when he first came on, there was the whole trust the process, but the fans have been kind of scorned on that in the past.
Yeah.
So I think having him leading the trend and trading away, Stanton, Ozuna, Yelich, all those stung real bad, but he is the kind of the guiding light that's like, okay, well, we have someone that knows the business inside and out. Let's just ride it out, and you're starting to see some of those prospects actually, do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. And of course he's a guy too that has a winning pedigree, so he wants to win all the time, like he did with the Yankees. So definitely gonna he'll bring some championships there eventually.
Yeah, and I think that they're going to have to do it more of a homegrown style like the Yankees are getting to now versus
Yeah.
I didn't follow the Yankees so much back in the day, but I think they brought in on the free agents when they needed them. I don't know if the Marlins were going to have that kind of flexibility with the payroll to bring them in if it's 2 or 3 or 4 guys, but maybe 1 or 2. I think it's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Yankees were, like in the 90s, they were successful with just a lot of their homegrown players too, and then like some of the more minor free agents, they obviously they had the core 4 with Jeter, Posada, Pettit.
Mm-hmm.
So and obviously Mariano, and then now they obviously brought in some of the more minor guys like Scout Brosius, and then Boone was a big part of 2003 when he had that, obviously the home run. But there's a lot of other guys too that they weren't like a big time free agent. So they kind of brought them in and then they ended up being a big part of their runs.
Yeah, so that's exactly the kind of model that he knows, and that's exactly what's needed. So
yeah, for sure.
And once you start winning, butts will go in the seats, and that's where everything gets a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping for sometime down the line, probably way down the line, but Yankees Marlins World Series. That would be fun.
I can already see the storylines now.
Oh my god.
Jeter heads back to the Bronx to steal away a championship.
I love how people are like when they traded Stanton to the Yankees, like everybody was saying, "Oh, Jeter's gifting them something." He just wants to give his old team a present. Like it's like no, I don't. That's not how it is, really.
No, they were hamstrung with that contract.
Yeah.
And then Yelich didn't want to be here. And then once trading those two, Ozuna, he didn't really want to go.
No.
He's still a free agent. I mean, there's maybe hope, but no, he wasn't going to be able to save the franchise. So we figured we'd get something for him.
Yeah. What do you think he's going to go for this year? I've heard Indians is a possibility. And then the other guy, I don't know.
He had a bit of a down year statistically, but the talent's still there. It's got to go somewhere that's going to be a contender. So
yeah,
Cleveland's a good spot. Maybe Atlanta. Do they have a need for a left fielder?
I'm trying to think. I can't remember who their left field, if they have a left fielder right now.
Well, I know they re-signed Markakis, and they have Acuna. And I think Austin Riley was playing left field for a little bit last year.
I think that's who it was, but depth. I'm gonna look right now at the depth chart.
Yeah, I had to shut all my stuff down to make sure that we could get this podcast going.
Oh yeah, right now their depth chart says Markakis is left field, and then Enciarte in center, and
Okay.
Acuna in right field. So
Yeah, they could use him.
mhm. They also got Adam Duvall.
Yeah, if he could, he's got a big bat, but he needs to work on hitting better. Not the power ball, but just being a professional hitter. 300 on base percentage doesn't really spark much interest for a contender.
Yeah, that AL East, NL East is going to be fun this year though.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a 4-team race. So I think all four of those, everybody except you guys, are going to contend.
Well, Harper's going to have a better year this year than he did last year. He had that big contract blues this year, and I think he's going to settle in. And they got Zach Wheeler this year.
Yeah, and they got Didi. I think he's going to be good for them. But he had kind of a down year last year. Obviously, just coming back from Tommy John though. So I think next year he's going to, especially coming back with Joe Girardi, I think he's going to have a really solid year.
They're penciling him at third, yes?
No, short. He's going to be at short.
He's going to be at short? Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he would be at third. He's never played third, so.
I just know they had a huge hole there.
Yeah, I don't know I don't even know who they're going to play at third, because unless they sign somebody else, I don't know. Yeah, who else do they have in the infield anyway? They have Hernandez at second base. Didi at short, and then I don't know. They got rid of Franco at third, so I don't know.
Did they release? He's a free agent right now, right?
I believe so. I know they put him on waivers.
See, that'd be another great target for the Marlins.
Yeah. That's another. The Phillies are probably another team that's going to go after Donaldson.
Oh yeah, Scott Kingery. That's probably the other. That's the third baseman.
Oh right. Yeah, he'll probably be at third if they don't sign anybody else. Because then doesn't he? I think he plays outfield too, though, right?
Well, let's see. They got Kingery listed at second and third base. I don't see Hernandez on here. Maybe he's the free agent man out.
I know that Hernandez. He didn't really have a good season last year either. So.
Well, they got Real Muto still. Noel, Wheeler, Arrieta. It's not a bad three.
No. And then obviously the Nats are they'll be contending again for sure. So yeah, and then we'll see what the Mets. The Mets, I don't know. They got some guys. They brought in Purcell, who's he's kind of I don't know, but maybe they could spark something with him. Maybe, but I don't know. They got Stroman in the rotation, and who else? They signed somebody else too. Some minor starting pitcher. I forget who it was. Just like yesterday.
Forget what.
But they. Yeah, I don't know how good of a chance they have, but because I think the top three are gonna be Phillies, Nats, and Braves.
Yeah,
I think I actually had the Phillies winning the division right now. Like, if I had to predict, it would be the Phillies. And then Braves second, Nats third. Well, I don't know. Maybe Nats second.
That's a toss-up between all those teams. It all depends on how they start.
Yeah. And it depends on how the Braves bullpen pans out too. The Nats, I guess the Nationals too, because both the bullpens were shitty last year.
Yeah.
I guess Phillies. Well, I guess the whole division really.
Well, I know the Braves signed like three bullpen arms this offseason so far.
Yeah, I think Will Smith was one of them, wasn't it?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Let's see.
What about your division there with the Rays? Any worry from them?
I don't know. They were good last year. They really haven't done anything this year though to make me worried. They haven't made any moves.
Well, they traded Pham, but other than that,
I don't know. I don't really see that much of a threat from them, to be honest. 'Cause they have. I don't know. I don't know what Blake Snell's going to do next year either. But their rotation, they have just
a bunch of guys.
a bunch of guys thrown together. Obviously they go with the opener a lot too.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to catch on more or not. I really don't know what to think about what they do with that.
Yeah, I don't know. The Yankees tried it last year with all the injuries. They were kind of successful with Chad Green. He was pretty good in that role.
Yeah.
And then I think they won 11 opening starts in a row or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But is it sustainable throughout the whole season? That's what I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see it being something that'll end up being a big part of the game or anything.
Think it's a flash in the pan like the Wildcat?
Yeah, I think so. Because there were even some broadcasters talking about how the future of the MLB is going to be there's not going to be any starters anymore. It's just going to be all bullpen games. But I don't see that, because you can't have just all relievers. You can't just you just get to throw 12 relievers on your team and then that's it.
Well, I mean, look who was pitching in the World Series. You had the top of the top starters out there every third or fourth game. So
I don't know. I guess I could see some sort of thing like that where there's you don't see too many starters and or whatever, but I don't think it's going to be every day, every game you're going to have just a bullpen games.
Right.
I guess more just in the postseason, what we saw there. That was kind of what the Royals did back in 2014. So, or what was it? Oh, 2015? I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, other than the Rays, the AL East is. The Yankees seem to have it on. I think they're gonna run away with that division. Not to sound cocky or anything, but Red Sox look like they're gonna be moving some guys.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of on a restructuring. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely have to get rid of some salary there, because probably not Mookie Betts, because I think they'd be stupid to move him. I think he's got to be a big piece to their. They got to keep him there. He's a big piece to their core. I don't think they should move him.
I mean, it all depends on what they get back, but I don't disagree with you. I think they should keep him, but if someone grossly overpays for him,
yeah, if they're gonna get rid of somebody, it's got to be Martinez, because
yeah,
I don't definitely rather get rid of him than Mookie.
Absolutely. Martinez, 38 now?
Yeah. So, but then obviously the Blue Jays, they're going to be good in a few years, but right now they're just, started there got kind of pushed towards that being good because they have all these young guys.
Mm-hmm.
They see Vlad Jr., Biggio, Bichette, so they're definitely going to be exciting to watch.
If they can get some pitching.
Yeah. I mean, the Orioles are the Orioles, so I mean.
Oh, that's so true.
But, yeah, so I think I'm pretty confident that the Yankees win the division again. I don't really see much going wrong with the season. I think I'm projecting kind of maybe towards 110 wins even.
Okay.
Because especially if they stay healthy, they're gonna just I think they're gonna run away with it. But
health's gonna be the key for sure.
Yeah. But even last year, they had all these injuries, and then they still won the division with all these B level players.
That's the craziest thing that I've ever seen, I think, in baseball. Is how they were able to maintain relevance with the amount of injuries they had. Not just who was injured, but just the overall amount.
Yeah. There's 30 injuries in I think overall, like injury stints.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And the one thing I kind of related it to was the Eagles back in their Super Bowl run. They had so many injuries that year, and they used like the same thing, like mentality, like next man up.
Mm-hmm.
So like then they ended up winning the World Series with Nick Foles.
And then Jacksonville overpaid for him.
Yeah, he's not good anywhere else besides Philly. Like literally,
Yeah, I mean,
because he went to the Rams after like the first time he was with the Eagles, and then he didn't do anything there either.
I don't know. I don't think he's got a fair shot yet in Jacksonville because they really don't have anybody that can block for him. So I feel kind of bad for the guy.
Yeah. At least he could flash around that ring though.
Absolutely. You're like, yeah, I don't have one of these.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tom Coughlin does so.
Oh yeah. I see a huge house cleaning in that department too. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
win.
This is what we do on this pod a lot: is just go and ramble about other sports too, like go over to football and talk about football. Well, that'd be nice to make this like a all sport pod too, if you can branch out.
No, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm only pretty knowledgeable in football and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad when it comes to basketball because I just can't watch it on TV. It's one of those sports that I much prefer to watch live, kind of like hockey. So
Yeah. I watch some of it, but, like mostly just like my team. I'm a Lakers fan. I just watch like most of the Lakers games,
oh, okay,
and then hockey I'm not really into as much, but I watch some of the Rangers games, but mostly just like Stanley Cup. But I watch like the playoffs. I watch like the playoffs are the most exciting for hockey.
that's fun.
Mm.
Been to a few hockey games. Went to a Tampa Bay Lightning game, and then we have a Jacksonville Iceman down here, and that's a fun game to go to. A little minor league.
Nice. All right, so I guess we could kind of wrap this up here, and we covered a lot of stuff. The Marlins, a lot of the Marlins stuff about them their rebuild, some of their young players, some of the signings they did this year, and their the future with the direction they're going in. And it was a fun pod. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Alex.
Yeah, of course. And then you're always welcome to come on any other time too, if you want to talk some other off-season moves, or obviously during the season too. We can talk some other stuff.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun maybe to kind of talk about right when spring training is kind of winding down, seeing who made the team and what rookies might make an impact, and maybe help somebody's fantasy teams too.
Yeah, definitely. And then a lot of times I have other guys on here too, like from the Scorecard. I have other guys coming on, like Johnny Black. I don't know if you know him, but he's the creator of the Scorecard.
Okay.
And then Joey comes on too, and some other guys that come on.
So do y'all get like a round table going on?
Yeah, a lot of times we have like at least three of us on here at once. So.
Yeah, that'd be fun too.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure you find the pod on any podcast platform. Too Much Podtar, and follow. As I said at the beginning, follow Squircrow at the Squircrow, and stay tuned for the rest of the series as we cover all 30 teams. Next team on the series is going to be the Royals, and I'm going to have Cody Clausen on there for that pod. He's from the Squircrow, and then hopefully someone else that's a Royals fan. He's a Red Sox fan. He just wants to come on because he likes the Royals too a little bit. So, but also too, if you guys out there know anybody who's a Royals fan who wants to come on and talk some Royals, just send him my way. Tell him to DM me on Twitter at Alex Keeler, and we'll set that up and hopefully get that going next week at some point. So yeah, just keep an eye out for more articles on the Scorecrow as we, get these articles out with these free agents being signed. We get them out as almost right after it happens. Try to get breaking news. And as this off season goes on, and we get to close to the season, we'll also do some more articles, is doing some prospect lists like we did last year, and then some of the rankings, position rankings too, as the season comes closer. So definitely going to be exciting here as we get closer to the season. So stay tuned for the next episode, and you can never have too much pod tar.
So we got in January starts the top 50s by team on Prospects 1500. So don't forget to check those out too when you're looking for more content.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll definitely look into that as well. I always love prospects. I always love looking at prospects.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I look forward to doing it again sometime.
Yeah, of course. Just let me know whenever you're like free and want to do another one.
Absolutely.